All right, hello everybody. It is Professor Chris, and I'm making a quick little video just to show us how to do kind of the next part of marking up scripts. This is something we haven't gone over yet, and this is going to a live camera feed. So it's a little different, it's a little more complicated, but I think we're kind of ready for it. And I want to make this video so we can spend more time in class, of course, directing. And you guys are getting really good at marking up scripts. So I thought I'd make a pretty short video. I'll try to keep this as short as possible without losing any information, okay? So the page that we're looking at right now, A10, this is fashion. This is a kicker story, clearly, because it's the last story that we have. And you'll notice it says, director's note, take live. So from what the producers have already told us, we can infer that we're gonna be going live. So what's happening in this story? For context, Remy is our live reporter. Edgar and Lauren are sitting on the desk, and Remy is doing just her normal package intro and her normal package outro, except she's not in the studio. So this is about the Nancy Richardson Design Center building, so she is in front of the Nancy Richardson Design Center building with our live camera and the live crew. So the first thing I like to do whenever we're on a live page is let's just take a look at our normal setup. We're just going to be looking at our notes for a second. So it's going to start on camera 2. We have our live call, and then we have a package, and then we go to a 2 to a toss. This was before COVID, so Krista can just join Edgar on camera, which is what we will be doing. So this is just a normal package script, essentially, which means we can assume two things right off the bat. Remy has to have an intro before her package, and then she has to have an outro. So we have to see her for both of those. So that's kind of at least our normal setup. And that's kind of the first step I like to do when I'm looking at a live camera script. The second thing I want to do is I want to kind of build the vision. What is this gonna look like? And how I'm gonna do that is by taking a look at the script. You'll notice right here, she says Edgar. It's probably supposed to be that's right Edgar instead of that's Edgar. But anyways, we can tell that she's talking to him. And we can tell that here, Edgar is addressing her. And then once again, Lauren is asking her a question and Remy is responding to this. So this is complicated. That means we have to see both of them at the same time. So the vision that I'm getting for this package is we want to start these two. I'm sure Lauren had more writing there. I'll probably add something soon, but we're going to start here on 2. They're just going to be introing, you know. When you go shopping, do you usually think of the environment? Lauren's like, you know what? No, when I go shopping, all I think of is what's the latest trends I want to buy, something like that. Let's say she says that. That's kind of their intro. They're going to be doing some ad-libbing. They're going to be bantering. This is all going to be on camera 2. But then the second Edgar kind of tosses it over to Remy, we'll want to see her. So that's when we can use our picture-in-picture effect, which puts 2 cameras on the same screen and it looks really nice. So that's the new cue that we're going over today is picture-in-picture. And then when we get to here, we'll want to see Remy full screen. So we'll want to take our full screen, which is of our live camera. And our live camera is basically just camera 4 on the TriCaster. That camera can swap between the jib and live feed. So for this, we'll say it's already been swapped, so you'll put 4. So those are our 2 new cues. We have picture-in-picture and camera 4. So now that we know our new cues, we'll want to know where to put them. So clearly right here, since they're talking to each other, we'll need to see both of them. So that'll be picture-in-picture. This right here will just be her, so that'll be 4. We come out to her, again, that'll be 4. And then we want to see her while Lauren's addressing her. So we'll go to picture-in-picture. And then we might even stay on picture-in-picture. This is pretty short, and we can just kind of show them nodding. And then we'll just take it back to 2. So let's mark this up. So right here, what we're going to do, we're going to ready, picture-in-picture. This is essentially run through our ME4. So we're using ME4 for our picture-in-picture. So that's the keystroke TriCaster we'll be using, but its kind of code name will be picture-in-picture. And then we'll have take picture-in-picture. Now, if you remember when I talked about the live camera beforehand, there is a delay with that. So you kind of have a second cue. So you have to take picture-in-picture to show Remy. And then while Edgar's still reading, let's time this real fast. Let's see how long does it take for me to read Edgar's story? Well, our own Remy Kebbel went to speak with some students about just that. Okay, so that was about 6 seconds. The delay on the camera is about 5 seconds. So, right when he says her name, I'm gonna hit cue Remy. Because remember, with our live camera, we have that phone and we're patched into the people who are running the camera. So I'm cueing the camera operator who's with Remy, and I'm telling him or her to tell Remy to start speaking. And I want them to start speaking at the same time. So then, once Remy does start taking, we can ready up camera 4, and then take 4. This is a pretty quick change, and this is a lot of cues right here in a small, very small area. Because we want to take picture right away, right when he says, well, our own Remy Kebbel. And when he gets to Remy Kebbel, we're going to cue her, so she's going to start speaking. And then the second the studio sees her speaking, because we can see this confirmation, we're going to ready up 4, and then we're going to take 4. So I guess I can ready up 4 a bit higher up. I'm going to change that. And then let's move this text box. There we go. Okay, so now we're on 4. And then while she's talking, we're going to ready up, let's say her A is in her package, and take A. Okay? And then we're coming back to her. So we're going to ready up 4. And we're going to put a little note here for ourselves. Because again, there is a delay. So I'm going to start counting down from 5 when package is at 9 seconds. Now that's very confusing, but I'll show you what that does. So when we're going to her, we're coming out of the package, if there's 9 seconds left in the package, we'll be counting down right then. So at 9, I'll be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cue Remy. So when I say that, there'll be 4 seconds left in the package. And there's about a 5-second delay. So even if Remy is right on the mark, the package will still have a second to fade, and then we'll see her talking. I'm assuming there's going to be human error, because live is hard, and we'd only done it a couple times at this point. So I'm going to give Remy just a few seconds. We're just going to see her face, and then she's going to start talking. Okay, so now that that's done, we want to see Lauren talking, so we're going to go ready picture in picture. And then we're going to take picture in picture. And then we're going to ready up 4 because we want to see Remy full screen once she starts talking. So we're going to see Lauren Toster, and then we're going to cut back to Remy full screen. You don't have to do this. We can sit in picture, but I'm pretty sure what we wrote right here, which is why there's an ellipse, she's going to ad-lib after this. So I want to give her as much time to talk, and I don't want to stare at Edgar and Lauren kind of awkwardly. So then we're going to take to 4. And then right after that, we're going to ready up 2 and take to 2 when she's done. So once we hear her stop talking in the studio, we can just cut over to 2. And then at the end of the page, we'll finish this out. We see Krista on camera 1. Ready 1, take 1. All right? So let's see what that looked like kind of in real time.
You know, Lauren, when you go shopping, what do you usually think about?
I usually think about price and style, and that's pretty much it.
Well, did you ever think about the environment?
I usually don't, no.
Well, Remy Kebbel went to find out to speak to some students just about that. Remy?
Thanks, Edgar and Lauren. You know, I talked with a CSU student who gave me more insight into how CSU is teaching students to be more eco-friendly, all while designing their own clothes.
Fast fashion helps make clothes more affordable, but the industry contributes to environmental damage.
Often we're told like fast fashion is bad, but how can we make it better? Because obviously people aren't going to stop buying from H&M.
With a growing need for cheaper clothing, environmental damage becomes a huge concern.
If clothes are very cheap, you obviously know that they're either not good for the environment or they have bad labor standards because they're not paying enough. So once you buy cheap clothing, like you realize, oh, this probably came from either like bad working conditions or it's really bad for the environment.
Concern. Seasonal trends only make this problem worse because people want something new, ultimately throwing clothes away and further contributing to this issue.
That's why it's called fast fashion, because all of the different seasons, and if you think about it, plaid might be in season for 3 weeks, but then it's not, and then people throw it away because they're like, oh, I can't wear it anymore. So that's kind of where the sustainability like plays a role.
But CSU professors are teaching students how to make sustainable designs that helps the environment overall.
So a lot of our professors do research in sustainability and how it affects it, and do different studies with different students on how to be more sustainable.
CSU is adapting to a growing concern of sustainability in the industry, and here they learn to be eco-friendly.
You know, Savannah Clark told me that to produce one cotton shirt, it takes 700 gallons of water. I mean, I just think that's insane. What about you, Lauren?
I completely agree, Remy. Now, is there a way that students can be more aware?
You know, students can actually help the environment by repurposing their old clothing and donating them, which is a lot better.
Well, what a neat story, Remy. Thank you. Well, it might be an election year in Colorado, but one Colorado town just elected someone that has all of Colorado talking. Krista, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Edgar. This story that I have is the first time I've ever really been excited about politics. Find out why after the break.